Welcome to my podcast series, Independence for Life, diving into management, instruction, and guidance of your lifestyle as you continue your journey through life and into retirement and older age. Hi, my name is Nancy Bronick-Hardy. I am an integrative nutrition health coach, nutritionist, certified caregiver, and fitness professional and instructor. I work independently in every capacity as described. I am the creator of Independence for Life. I am continuing my preparation of upcoming podcasts to help guide you on your journey of independence for life. So let's begin your Independence for Life journey and keep in mind your why for being here today. And being healthy is not about weight loss you may experience, but about the life you gain by being a healthier weight, which is different for everyone. In podcasts 1 and 2, I provided a basis for why I started Independence for Life and what it is. But basically, I am here to spread the word about the importance of movement, proper nutrition, and preparation for older age. I'm a fitness professional and I am here to educate people about movements and continued mobility with exercise and proper nutrition. Today is lesson number 4, and the topic is it's never too late or too early to start. But more specifically, I'm going to talk about nutritional and fitness rebalancing. It's never too late or too early to start this journey. Let's look at this as a long-term approach to health and embrace a more holistic lifestyle. Let's get away from restrictive diets and temporary workout whims. Let's get away from quick fixes that only trick the mind and body and don't teach you anything. So I'm going to give you a brief story about me, of what I went through, because everything that I talk about in my podcast, I've experienced myself, have helped someone one-on-one, or have been involved in someone's life that has gone through it. So with my weight loss, in 2008, I lost 50 pounds, and I'm specifically going to talk to you right now about Nutrisystem. So I used it 3 times in my life during a 10-year period where I yo-yoed up and down with my weight. So the first 2 times I used Nutrisystem, which is considered a fad diet, a quick fix, it worked. So you say to me, well, then how can it be a quick fix? How can it be a fad diet? Well, I'm going to tell you specifically because it didn't teach me anything. Once I came off of the Nutrisystem program, all the weight came back and then some. So then you say, well, why did you use it a 3rd time? And I'd say, good question. Because I was quitting smoking. Yay, 17 years later, I'm still a quitter. I was using it to help me quit smoking so I wouldn't put on additional weight from the process of quitting cigarettes. So it helped me in that regard, but it was a temporary fix. The first 2 times I did lose the weight and I was like, oh, this is so great. And then I got away from the system because it is temporary and it is a fad and it is a quick fix. And I didn't know that at the time. So all the weight came back and then some. So I'm going to go over stuff with you today that's not quick fixes, that's not fad diets, that's not any kind of temporary anything. We're going to look at rebalancing gradually and sustainably to improve nutrition and physical activity to meet your individual needs. We need to approach rebalancing in the mindset of bio-individuality and not a one-size-fits-all theory. So that's what all those fad diets, quick fixes, workout whims, it's a one-size-fits-all, and that's not what life is. It's bio-individuality. We have to look at the person. What works for you may not work for someone else. The life goal is overall well-being. So weight loss is not the primary focus. The primary focus is nutrition and exercise for life and not for looks. Let's get into the first category, which is nutritional and fitness rebalancing, which is the process of reshaping nutrition and fitness together for optimal health and performance. Integrating these two areas lays the path to greater benefits versus focusing solely on one or the other. The balance between nutrition and diet is crucial. They go together. You always will hear me talk about nutrition and movement. They go together. The balance is crucial. Everybody has a balance. It's a matter of finding it, and I can help you do that. Let's get into the core values of nutritional rebalancing. So we want to focus on reorganizing, meaning setting a game plan and a schedule, and modifying eating habits to align your body's physiological and energy needs. Okay, so we want to set a game plan and set a schedule for nutritional rebalancing. We want to have a list, go to the grocery store. We want to have our meals laid out for every week. Okay, let's not just wing it and hope for the best. We have to have a game plan. We have to have a schedule. Not that you have to stick to it and be so strict, but I do recommend that at the beginning is sticking to a strict game plan, a strict schedule, because that will eventually become a habit and you'll learn how to adjust for all the different types of things that come at you in your life. So when I, again, back in 2008, lost the 50 pounds, I lost 25 with a mentor, and I learned from her. And that's how I lost the additional 25 pounds on my own, because she taught me what and how to do. And that's what I'm here for you, to help you do those things as well, to help set you up for success for life. So we want to, focusing on the game plan, we want to focus on whole foods. We want to spotlight eating unprocessed foods. So I said spotlight, right? I'm not talking about deprivation. I'm talking about spotlight eating unprocessed foods, which are fruits, vegetables, whole grains, in my mind would be gluten-free, your lean proteins, and your healthy fats. We want to avoid deprivation. Okay, avoid that. At the beginning of this process, if you're going to follow this process, then you're not going to avoid everything. Things are going to be reduced until you can figure out how to add them into your life, how you want to add them into your life. Okay, so avoiding deprivation. So let's unthink traditional diets. So no foods like junk foods or processed foods are strictly off limits. Okay, so using the approach of moderation and mindful eating will help you reduce the guilt and discouragement and disappointment. So let me go back up to my 50-pound weight loss. That was a gigantic thing for me, and I will forever talk about that time in my life. And I was a junk food junkie, a carbaholic, terrible eating habits, and I didn't realize what I was doing. So when I went on my weight loss journey to get rid of those 50 pounds, I actually got a book and a pen out, and I made a list of all the things that I was going to go back to once I was done with this diet. Okay, so that's where my mindset was, because that's how your mindset is. It's all about the fad, the quick fix. I didn't realize, even though I may have been told this was a lifestyle change, I didn't realize it at the time. So my list consists of Oreos, Reese's, cookies, cakes. I mean, it was a big list. I was so mad. I'm like, I'm going to go back to eating all this food. I was just really mad that my mentor was like, let's just curb some of this. It's a lot of junk you're eating. I was very, very mad, and I just was like, I'm writing this all down because I am going to go back to all these foods. Let me tell you what, 3 weeks into it, I don't want any of that. Whatever was on that list, I didn't want it. Only 3 weeks into it, I was like, because I was crowding out all the garbage. And now, and maybe even since then, or even maybe the past 10 years or more, I bake my own stuff. I make my own candy. I control what I eat. So again, going back to avoiding deprivation, at the beginning, we want to be more strict about it, but it's not off limits because we want you to be successful, okay, and not depriving yourself of special treats or things that you want to have. But the crowding out is a very good thing, and it's a very real thing because it happened to me. We want to improve our habits, right? So we want these things to become a habit. So like I said, we want to set that game plan. Set schedule for regular meals to avoid eating too much or even over snacking. So I personally have 6 things I eat every day, 6 times, I should say. And they're not full-on meals. I'm not eating gigantic plates of food 6 times a day. But I eat the way that I eat for me, and it works for me, and it has worked for me since 2008, and I still do that to this day because it is a lifestyle change. So setting yourself up with a game plan, making it become a habit, and then once it becomes a habit, it'll be mindless and it'll just roll and roll and roll and continue on. Set ahead meals for the week. Write it down on a whiteboard, a chalkboard, piece of paper, notes on your phone, whatever that means for you for writing it down, write it down. Meals for the week. Include all the meals. Include all the drinks. Okay? And let's try not to drink our calories, and we'll get into that another time. But writing down, having a list, and when you go to the grocery store, stick to that list, okay? And if you look at all the other foods that you're trying to eat in moderation, let's just go right past them and say, I'll come back to that another day, because it doesn't have to be forever. We also need to remember to stay hydrated. Sometimes when we have that feeling of hunger, it's really thirst, because our body doesn't have really the best way to say, hey, I'm really thirsty. Let's get some water in. So let's be in tune with what the hunger means, what the fullness means, what thirst means. And I'm also going to tell you what really helped me here, getting myself on a lifestyle path, changing my bad habits because I was the worst, was journaling. But I only journaled at the beginning, okay? Probably for like a month or so, I journaled. Then, like I said, it became a habit, and it's still rolling to this day where I don't even have to think about it. It is not even a thought in my mind. It's just natural to me the way that I've been eating. So journal your food, and here's why. Okay, let me back that up. Journaling your food, journal the time of day, what you ate and drank, and why. Okay, we're either hungry, you're bored, or whatever. So seeing it on paper will help you to be accountable for what you're doing, right? That accountability factor, that helped me because I had to show my journal to my mentor every week, and I didn't want to go to her and her to shake her head and say, why are you eating Oreos? You know? So the only thing that she would change up on mine, because I was really strict with what I was doing, I was really determined to lose weight, was changing the order of food. So instead of oranges in the morning, she would say have oranges in the afternoon, have your eggs in the morning. So things like that. So journaling your food, the accountability factor, help to keep you on track, helping you to make it a habit. And it doesn't have to be forever, or it can be if that's what you like to do. Bio-individuality and your balanced diet. Okay, so everybody's different. Balancing your diet means getting a variety of nutrients that fit your specific needs. For example, excess calcium can interfere with iron absorption, requiring a balanced intake of both. So I am anemic. I have issues with iron. So when I know that I need to be iron heavy that day, I will keep my dairy to another part of my day. So instead of having a cheeseburger, and just have maybe chili with some beautiful beans in there, and maybe have some cheese on my eggs in the morning, just splitting it up. But the point is being specific to your needs, and knowing what those needs are will definitely help you out. So having your balanced diet, a variety of nutrients. Key principles of good eating habits. Let's go over that list. A balanced diet. Include a variety of foods so you get all the nutrients from fruits, vegetables, whole grains, again, I will forever say gluten-free. Lean proteins, like you can have fish, Greek yogurt, legumes, chicken, turkey, low-fat cottage cheese, lean beef, powdered peanut butter, egg whites. I don't really believe in egg whites. I think we should eat the whole egg. Bison is great, low-fat milk, pork loin. And then we have our healthy fats, fatty fish, olive oil, avocados, nuts, and seeds. So your balanced diet is fruits, vegetables, grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. Then we need to be mindful of our portion control to avoid overeating. So maybe we can use a smaller plate, right? This can reduce your overall calorie intake. How about let's limit added sugars and salt? Let's reduce foods and drinks high in added sugars and salt. Just so you know, my podcast number 5, which is coming up next, is all about sugar. So the dietary guidelines suggest limiting added sugars to less than 10% of your daily calories. And let me tell you this, and I get into this in my next podcast number 5. There's no such thing as zero sugar, guys. Sorry to break it down that way, but if you get into lesson number 5, it's all about sugar, you'll understand why. We need to remember, I know it's good eating habits, but drinking habits too, staying hydrated. Drink plenty of water every day throughout the day. And we can also try adding fruits and herbs to flavor the water, because some people say, yuck, water tastes terrible. And I don't understand that, because water is essential. Water is life. But you add fresh fruits in there, add herbs. Let's not buy those little plastic containers and squirt that garbage into our beautiful water. You are defeating the purpose. So fresh fruits, real herbs can be added to your water. Choosing whole grains. Again, forever, I will tell you gluten-free. We want to choose whole grains versus refined grains, as they provide more fiber and nutrients so you can feel fuller longer. Including healthy fats. We want to limit saturated and trans fats found in where? Processed foods. We also want to eat regularly, schedule regular meal times, and don't skip a meal, because it'll lead to overeating later. Eating smaller, balanced meals throughout the day can help maintain an energy level. So that's what I said. I have 6 times a day I'm eating something, okay? And when I went through my transformation, when I lost the 50 pounds, at the beginning, I would say to my mentor, but I wasn't hungry, so I skipped that particular meal of the 6 times I was supposed to eat. And she's like, no, don't skip it. She goes, eat it anyway, or eat a portion of it. The point is to get your body used to having those 6 times per day. So you don't have to finish everything, just getting in those 6 times per day. Mindful eating. Pay attention to what you eat, slow down, and savor each bite. This practice will allow you to recognize when you're full, reducing the likelihood of overeating. Let's limit our processed food. Let's reduce processed and fast foods, which are often high in unhealthy fats, sugars, and sodium. And let me just put in my little asterisk here that processed and fast foods, guys, it's not real. It's all modified, and most of it's garbage and carcinogenic. We want to plan your meals, plan ahead to make healthier choices and avoid any last-minute unhealthy options, because there are plenty of options in your face all day long. Look at all the advertisements everywhere, yes? Consider preparing meals in advance to save time during those busy days. So when I went through my transformation, and I still do it, not all the time now, but because I do think I go through my process mindlessly now, because it's been a habit since 2008. But at the beginning, every single Sunday, I would dedicate however many hours I needed. Wasn't all day, an hour or 2, maybe 3, depending on what I was doing. But I would prep my meals or just prep the food for the entire week. So every day when I came home from work, there it was. I didn't have to choose. I didn't have to work hard. I didn't, because I was already going through a stressful time. So make it easier on yourself to make better choices. Prepare, and prepare some more. Let's look at now the core values of fitness rebalancing, because like I said, and I will always tell you, movement and nutrition, that is a crucial balance, and we need both to be successful. Create a regular, fun, and enjoyable exercise routine that is sustainable and that fits your individual needs. And exercise like your life depends on it, because it does. And if you don't know how or what to do here, again, I can help you guys. Everything I'm telling you about, I have been through. I am an expert at all of this. I am hands-on. I am one-on-one. I am educated. I can help you get through and do all of this and make it easy and fun. So we want to prioritize and incorporate activity into daily life. So we want to think about exercise as not a chore, it's not a punishment. Your goal is to make movement a habit and then any natural part of your life. And let me tell you what, exercise is my most favorite thing on the planet. Okay? Love to do that the most out of anything, out of all the hats that I wear. Teaching exercise or just even exercising by myself, one of my favorite things, and I am addicted to it in the best way possible. There's so much out there to choose from. Get a variety, find different things to do each week or even every other day, or however you want to plan that out. But it's not a punishment, guys. It's not a chore. It's not like, oh, I have to exercise. The mindset should be, and maybe you'll get there like I am, this is great, I get to exercise. And when I went through my transformation back in 2008 with the 50 pounds, and I'm very proud of that, as you can tell, because I keep speaking about it, I had a paper calendar of what I did all the time, but at the top, I wrote down exercise. And everybody knew, no matter what was happening in my life, that came first while I was going through my transformation, because I had to work on me. I felt like hell and garbage every day until I understood why. And that's why I needed to fix myself, and did fix myself. Okay, so I made it a priority. I was lucky enough to be able to do that. We want to also listen to your body. So let's not go at this full force. It's important to get rest and recovery so we don't get burned out. Okay, so I wouldn't go into exercising 7 days a week, right? Not at the beginning. Okay, I used to exercise 6 days a week. Now I do 5. But I get in everything I need in those 5 days. So maybe start with 2 days a week, 3 days a week, okay? Let's get in different types of movement. A holistic approach includes various forms of exercise for a complete fitness regimen. And this often includes, I'm going to go over what you need for your complete fitness regimen. There are cardiovascular exercises. We want to improve that heart health. And let me tell you, when I am working out cardiovascularly, it feels so good that my heart can do that and work hard. It feels amazing to me. It significantly improves heart health, boosts mental wellness, I can attest to that, improves endurance, and promotes overall physical fitness. The key benefits to cardio, I'm going to break that down. Heart health. Regular cardio strengthens the heart and circulation and may help lower blood pressure. It may also improve cholesterol and decrease body fat and therefore reduce the risk of heart disease. It also comes with weight management. Regular cardio burns calories, which aids in weight loss and maintains the weight loss, and boosts metabolism, which aids in weight management. Okay, so weight loss is easier than weight management. Mental health. Cardio is known to reduce anxiety and depression. It releases endorphins, which are natural mood lifters and can improve overall mental wellness. Let me tell you, when I get done exercising, I feel like I'm on cloud 9 million. It increases endurance. Regular cardio increases stamina and endurance, in turn making physical activities easier and less tiring. This improvement in physical fitness can lead to more active lifestyle, and let me tell you about that quickly here. At the beginning in 2008, when I started exercising, before I even went on my weight loss with food journey, I was a jazzercise student, and I went religiously 5 days a week. I was there all throughout the year. Okay. And I would work so hard and so hard every hour. I worked so hard. It was 1 hour a day, 5 days a week. And that hour I worked so hard. And I was like, oh, this is so hard. But at the end of the hour, I was like, I did it. That's mine. No one can take that from me. And I felt great. And the more I did it, the easier and less tiring it got. How about your brain health? Cardio has been connected to improved cognitive function and a lower risk of dementia by increasing blood flow to the brain, which can enhance memory and thinking skills. And as a caregiver, most of my clients have dementia, and it is a nightmare, a terrible, terrible thing. How about your joint health? Cardio helps manage arthritis, improves joint flexibility, and encourages circulation. How about your immune system support? Moderate cardio can enhance the immune system, thereby fighting off illnesses more effectively. Conclusion: incorporating cardio can lead to many health benefits and is very rewarding by way of improved heart health, all the way up to mental wellness. And let's aim, and I said aim, set a goal, strive toward 150 minutes of moderate intensity cardio each week, okay? Let's aim for that. Don't start there unless you're seasoned. Okay, so there are tons of types of cardio. Jumping rope, you can do that anywhere. You don't even need the rope. You can pretend you got the rope. It's inexpensive, lightweight, it's portable. Dancing. How about join a class or just dance around your house to your favorite music? There's plenty of organized sports, right? Flag football, soccer, basketball, volleyball. They're all fun. They're all healthy. Running, right? How about that one? Guaranteed to increase your heart rate. And maybe you can make some new friends while running. Have some running buddies. If you can't run, what about power walking? You can even do it on a treadmill. Grab some hand weights. Maximize your efforts. Yes, while you're walking, get those hand weights with you. If you don't want to hold on to something, there are such things as ankle and wrist weights that you just put on, and there you go. Swimming, low impact. Yes, if you have problems with your joints, swimming is great, but if you're going to be just doing swimming, you got to do land exercises too. You need the eccentric and concentric. What else? How about boxing? A lot of people like to do that. You know, you've heard of kickboxing classes where you're not making contact with anybody, but it's a great way to just move that body. Hiking. If you're an outdoorsman or woman, hiking is fantastic. Get out there. Yes. Maybe try spinning at spin class on the bike. You want to talk about cardio? Ooh-wee, that is some good stuff there. Rowing. That's a great cardio boost, strengthening your abs and your back muscles too. How about another equipment-free jumping jacks? Anytime, any place, anywhere, guaranteed to get your heart rate up. And there are different variations of it. So try them all. How about climbing stairs? That'll get your heart pumping and your body sweating. Keep an open mind and let's try to be creative. And there are plenty of ways to get your heart rate up. And don't feel stuck just on a treadmill. And if that's all that you have, that's fine. But jazz it up a little, like I said, with hand weights or get the music going. Do different things. If you look on YouTube, you'll find different ways to jazz up a treadmill. So the point is to find what you enjoy and which makes it easier to stick with. You know, experiment and try everything until you find what it is that you like. Okay? And I mentioned before about eccentric and concentric. Okay, so concentric is shortening of the muscles, which means lifting those weights, which is what you're doing on the land. And eccentric is lengthening those muscles, which is lowering the weights, which is essentially what you're doing while you're swimming. So you need both in your life. So if you are going to swim, get some land exercises as well. So that was all about cardio. Let's get into strength training to build muscle and improve metabolism. That's right. I said the M word. So you got your muscle strength to help build stronger muscles for activities of daily life. Yep, that's important. And athletic performance. Let's say like carrying heavy groceries or just running around with your kids. That's all activities of daily life, guys, and strength training will help you. Research shows that skeletal muscle may help increase insulin sensitivity, and greater muscle mass may help improve blood sugar management. Well, that's amazing. How about your bone health? Strength training is crucial for bone development, and bone strengthening benefits can be reaped at any age. Weight-bearing exercises put temporary stress on your bones, sending a message to the bone-building cells to take action and rebuild bones stronger. What about your brain health? We can't forget about the brain, guys. It may have better brain health and protection against age-related cognitive decline. It has many neuroprotective effects, such as an increased expression of brain-derived neurotropic factor. That was really hard to say, which is linked to memory and learning. So basically, strength training is also brain training. How about your metabolism, like I said earlier? Using it to increase your metabolic rate, which allows for more calorie burning at rest and during exercise. Muscles are more metabolically active than fat muscles are, allowing you to burn more calories at rest. So get your strength training in for that fat burn, because it'll help burn fat, particularly in the abdominal area, which is associated with a higher risk of chronic diseases like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and certain types of cancer. Strength training may also reduce your risk of developing diabetes by up to 30% when compared to people who don't engage in it at all. It may also help you to appear leaner. So there are people who are more concerned about their appearance than others. So this may be you. And if this helps you, as you build more muscle and lose fat, you may appear leaner because muscle is denser than fat and it takes up less space per pound, right? So you may lose inches even if the scale doesn't change. And let's not focus on the scale because it's evil and it's not a true picture of what's happening in you. And larger muscles also showcase more definition and give you a leaner appearance. So if that helps you to be motivated, that is fantastic. Strength training also improves flexibility and mobility to help with performing daily tasks and preventing injuries. Helps improve your range of motion, which may reinforce strength around the knees, hips, and ankles. Be sure to use your full range of motion when performing exercises. People with weaker muscles tend to have a lower range of motion and flexibility. So your overall quality of life, right? Let's enhance the mood, which are endorphins, quality of life, especially as you age, and better health outcomes. That's the overall picture here of what we're trying to do. The benefits, a valuable addition to any regimen, regardless of age or fitness level, decreasing your risk of decreasing your risk of injury and falls, especially when we do leg strength training, and may reduce blood pressure. So there are different types of strength training, including muscle hypertrophy, which is building your muscle endurance, so you can sustain the exercise for a longer period of time. There's also circuit training, which is your full body conditioning. Maximum muscular strength training to improve your overall strength. There's explosive power. That's usually used by trained athletes. So depending on the type of strength training, use various equipment or none at all. However you want to work, that's up to you. Your body weight is good. And using the force of gravity with techniques like you got push-ups, squats, planks, pull-ups, lunges. You can use free weights. There's dumbbells, barbells, kettlebells, medicine balls, or any objects you have around the house. You don't have to buy anything. There's plenty of heavy stuff around. You have to get creative. How about those resistance bands, right? That provide resistance when stretched. They're a lot easier on your joints if you have joint issues, and they're really great for traveling because they don't really weigh anything, and there are ones that come with specific labels that'll say like 10 pounds, 20 pounds, 30 pounds, or you can just get the regular ones that are much lighter than that in weight. But they're great for travel. You can stick them right in your bag. How about those weight machines with adjustable weights or hydraulics attached to provide resistance and stress to the muscles? How about suspension equipment like ropes or straps that are anchored to a sturdy point in which a person uses their body and gravity to exercise? The point is, there's so much out there that I know you can find stuff, not just one thing, stuff that you love to do. Let's get into your next one will be flexibility and balance exercises to improve joint mobility, coordination, and reduce injury risk. And I've said that now 3 times, right? To reduce injury risk. The stronger you are, more core you have, more confidence you have, just being a stronger, healthier person, it's just going to make you feel better and not feel like you're always going to be falling down, right? No one wants to fall down. No one wants to get hurt. So let's continue our cardio, our strength building, training. And now let's get into flexibility and balance. All of this is for mobility, coordination, reducing risk of injury. Okay, reducing the risk of injury. So flexibility helps with your balance and range of motion and can protect you from injuries. Flexibility is the ease with which you can move in different directions and you can reach, bend, and stretch comfortably. Flexibility helps stretch and elongate your muscles and works on range of motion and mobility. So your benefits of flexibility would be strong body and ready for anything. Improves range of motion, reduces risk of injury, helps with posture, you strain less, feeling less stiff when you're doing physical activities. Flexibility benefits more than just your ability to do sports or work out, helps you move and complete everyday tasks like picking up the groceries, cleaning, gardening. Maintaining flexibility as you age. Staying mobile, staying independent. Simple tasks like reaching, bending over, and lifting are all require flexibility. And we do these things all day long, every single day for our entire life. But we don't think about it that way. So this is the way that I think about it when I teach my classes is we do movements where I mimic activities of daily life. So we work on that, we practice that. It may seem silly or sound silly, but it's not. It gives you more confidence. It gives you that bigger range of motion, more flexibility, being able to move easier, less stiff, more confidence, less risk of falling, less risk of injury. So, again, going back to reducing the risk of injury by helping your body handle the stress of physical activity. Without being flexible, you overcompensate with other muscle groups, maybe like your shoulders or your back would take it. So that's not really anything that we want to stick with. We want to overall body strength, okay? And not just leaving it on our shoulders, not leaving it for our back. You hear people say, oh, my back, my back. How about getting a stronger core? How about getting stronger head to toe? Speaking of head to toe stronger, how about helps with your posture, which helps keep you balanced, keeping you aligned, strengthens your core. You want to talk about confidence? Get that posture in line. Get that body balanced. So what causes us to lose flexibility? Well, aging does. Lack of use of our flexibility. Maybe we sit all day and our muscles are shortened up. Maybe we've had an injury, or maybe we're just inactive. And if you're inactive, I want you to ask yourself why. Why are you inactive? Because if you can be physically active, Why are you inactive? Ask yourself that question. Exercises and stretches to improve flexibility. So daily practice, but we want to warm up the muscles first. Okay, so let's not just jump out of bed and just start stretching. Okay, we want to maybe just march in place a little bit, get those arms, get all your limbs moving around, just get everything awake from head to toe, mind-body connection, wake it up, warm it up for a few minutes, then get into your daily practice of flexibility, stretches, things like that. But you have to know consistency is the key. Okay, so get yourself into that habit, doing it all the time. It doesn't have to be every day, but even if you do it 5 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, it doesn't have to be an exorbitant amount of time. Just getting it done, getting used to it, getting in the habit of. Improve your flexibility with exercises or tools in your workout. What does that mean? How about yoga? I hear it all the time. Oh, I tried yoga once, I was terrible. Let me tell you, yoga is a practice. You have to go not continuously. You have to keep at it, okay? Maybe once a week, once a month, whatever it is. There's different kinds of yoga. The chair yoga, there's advanced yoga, there's beginner's yoga. So I would suggest, I tried it once, I didn't like it. Try it again. How about foam rolling? I have a couple of foam rollers to improve the flexibility. How about Tai Chi? There's also those stretch bands. How about a beautiful massage to break up those knots in those muscles, right? Avoid sitting too much. You'll feel that you're losing your flexibility and your range of motion by sitting too much, being inactive. Stretching alone can't combat sitting 8 to 10 hours a day. So try to get up and move around every hour. Maybe you can get yourself a standing desk if that's possible, or a walking pad. That's not as big as a treadmill. It's just the pad on the floor that it acts like the treadmill. Keep active at work, right? Set a reminder on your phone every hour. Stand up, walk around for a couple of minutes if you can do that. Or maybe every 2 hours, every 3 hours. Point is, let's try to keep active as much as we can and be mindful of how much we're sitting and why we are not active if we can be active. We want to stretch after every workout. And I said after. Stretching after every workout is the best way to improve your flexibility. Focus on static stretches for improved range of motion. Begin by holding the stretch for about 20 seconds, maybe 30, especially if you're just starting out. And eventually holding each stretch longer, maybe up to a minute. And don't overstretch and hurt yourself. Pay attention to your body and stop if you feel any pain. So let's stretch comfortably. More flexibility makes it easier to keep yourself healthy while you're exercising and your day-to-day life, giving you a bigger range of motion, less stiffness, less straining. And then we have our last component here. We talked about cardio, talked about strength, we talked about flexibility and stretching. Now we're going to talk about balance, which is uber important, guys. Okay, so balance exercises can help keep you balanced and make you feel more secure. That's that confidence that I was talking about. The risk of falling goes up after the age of 65. That's just a number in my mind. It's just a guide. It's just a marker, perhaps. It doesn't necessarily mean that as soon as you turn 65, I don't balance anymore. It's just a number, just to keep in mind. So start practicing balance today, and if we can, every day. And again, it doesn't have to be balance exercises for hours at a time. Maybe a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there. If you're watching your favorite program, if you're on the phone, try to get those balance exercises in. You don't need any equipment, maybe a table nearby so you can hold on, right, to help keep you stable at the beginning. But you don't really need any equipment to practice that balance. So include balance training with your physical activity and your strength training. So that's what I do in my classes. I always incorporate balance, whether we're standing in a chair, seated on the floor, or even on our back, or even on our hands and knees. So every position I incorporate some sort of balance. I sneak it in, and my members, maybe they don't realize, but I do. And I think it's extremely important that we continue our balance every day, forever. Being on your feet and moving around can help with balance somewhat, but make sure to start balance exercises to help keep you moving safely. And the big word is independently. Okay? So like I said, at the beginning of your balance exercises, if you need that table nearby to hold on, that's fantastic. I recommend that. But at some point, you're going to be doing these balance exercises independently without anything nearby. And it's going to feel great. And that's a goal to aim toward. So examples of some balance exercises. You can balance on one foot while you're standing. For up to 30 seconds is pretty good. It can be done anywhere. Like I said, having that stable table nearby for support. Try to stand up from a seated position without using your hands. Try that. See where you're at. Test yourself on these things. How about walking in a line, heel toe, and see how far you can get in that form. And there's other classes that are great for balance, and here they are. Are you ready? Yoga and Tai Chi, besides my classes. Without thinking about it, because we're humans, we take things for granted. I do it too. Good balance is needed to do just about everything, like walking, getting up out of the chair, bending over to tie your shoe. Strong muscles and steadiness make all the difference in the things that you do every day that you don't even think about. But these are the things that I think about every day. Like, how can I keep my members in my exercise classes strong and healthy as all of us age? Balance exercises strengthen the muscles that help keep you upright. That's right, they help keep you upright. Legs and your core, which can improve stability and help prevent falls. Okay, so head to toe overall strength in your body is going to help with your balance. As you go along and progress, you can improve your balance with these exercises by holding the position for a longer amount of time, maybe even adding movement to a pose. How about try closing your eyes? I definitely recommend doing that with something stable nearby because it's definitely a different experience. And if you are using something stable while you're going through your progression of your balance, let go of that stable and try with no hands. You can even, like I told you earlier, add it to your strength training of your weekly regimen to work your muscles in a different way. So your target would be your core, which is your stability exercises will work your abs and other core muscles like your back, your legs, glutes. You do squats and lunges. Every week in all of my classes, we get everything done. Cardio, strength, flexibility, mobility, balance, endurance, agility. We get it all done every single week. So what is great to do, like we talked about earlier with your setting a game plan and schedule for your nutritional rebalancing, we need to do the same thing for your fitness rebalancing, so customize your plan. A personalized fitness plan and diet uses factors like your age, your existing conditions, which are important, and your personal preferences, which may be even more important. Okay, so finding things that you like to do will help you stick with it. So all the things that I do, I love them all, and that's why I do them week after week. Identify what your goals are. So we talked earlier about journaling your food, right, to help keep you in line, to help keep you successful. Yes? So we want to do the same thing. We want to write down your specific, attainable, relevant goals. Okay, those three words are important. Specific, attainable, relevant. Okay, so for me, what's not relevant is like a marathon. That's not who I am. I'm not a runner. So I would never strive toward that because that doesn't fit into my life. Okay, so it needs to be relevant, needs to be attainable, and specific, whatever your goals are, whether it be getting stronger, losing weight, both. Let's do some self-reflection. Understand what your body type is. Understand what your nutritional needs are. And the most important factor here is understanding your lifestyle, like what fits in it. But sometimes we have to fit these things into it. We have to make room and or time for these things. Because for me, as the health coach professional, exercise for life, not for looks. Okay, so these things, exercise like your life depends on it. Get that movement. How about creating a personalized plan? Create a workout plan that includes the different types of workouts. Find what you like. Write down the frequency and the intensity based on your goals. How about managing your meal portions? Plan your meals to include balanced portions and incorporate things that will help you feel better when you're going to be exercising or after you're exercising. Stay committed. Focus on staying committed and motivated to maintain a healthy lifestyle. Okay, so like I said to you earlier about weight loss was the easy part, the maintenance was the hard part. Okay, so that same goes here. Creating that plan, finding everything you like, getting into it. Okay, so that's the weight loss, if you will, portion of it. And then sticking with it is the maintenance part of it. Okay, and if you don't know where to start or if you need help, any kind of guidance here, I'm right here to help you through all of this. So that's what comes into customizing your plan. Your goals, understanding who you are and what your lifestyle is, planning things out that you like to do, getting that frequency and intensity that you're looking for, managing your meals so you feel good enough to exercise, because that's huge, and stay committed. This is a lifestyle commitment. This is investing in yourself. This is self-care at its finest. Nutritional and fitness rebalancing are interdependent components of a holistic health strategy. Okay, so let's define interdependent. It is two or more things dependent on each other. And this is how the concept works, guys. This is what I said to you earlier. Having that crucial balance, nutrition and movement. Excuse me. Need a sip of water. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more of my 50-pound weight loss and how those two meaning movement and nutrition, why it's so crucial to find that balance. Okay, and it's not hard to find the balance. Okay, there's no mathematical equation that's going to get you there. Okay, it's not as scary as it sounds, and I did it on my own. So let me go back again to 2008, and let me go back to the 50 pounds. So I walked into the jazzercise class as a member, and like I said, 1 hour a day, 5 days a week, every day of the and every week of the year. I didn't stop going because of the holidays or anything. I didn't stop going because it was too cold out. I didn't stop because there's snow on the ground. I went all the time. And I worked hard every single time I was there. And I did that for a year. And I kept getting on the scale. Again, I threw my scale away. But at the beginning, I kept getting on the scale. I'm like, man, I'm not losing any weight. But back then I didn't realize what the benefits of exercise were. But so that was not my goal at the time. Okay, my goal at the time was weight loss. So I went to jazzercise for a year, worked hard, like I said, and kept getting on the scale. I'm like, what in the hell I'm like, why am I not losing any weight? I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, I don't understand. Okay, And Jazzercise incorporated everything that I said: cardio, strength training, balancing, flexibility. It incorporated all of that. All right. So I did that 5 days a week, 1 hour, and worked hard every single time. So a year goes by, and I was really upset. I'm like, I'm working so hard. I'm like, what is happening? So I went to my mentor and I talked to her, and I was like, what? I'm like, I don't understand. So she says to me, journal your food like what you're doing right now for a whole week. Come back and see me. She was like, I want to see what you're eating. I was like, oh, okay, sure. I didn't know. So I did. And boy, was I wrong about everything I was doing. Okay? And that's why I didn't lose any weight, because I didn't have that balance. So, point is, crucial balance, movement and nutrition. So once she showed me how to do it, how to eat properly, with that, like I said, I lost 25 pounds with her guidance, and I got away from her because she taught me. I'm like, oh, I got this. Lost the other 25 on my own, and have kept it off to this day, and it's 2025, right? Because I do the same thing all the time. I maintain. Point is, I found what my balance was, and it wasn't hard to find, and that's what I do. So, it is a holistic, healthy strategy to life. Okay? So let's go into more holistic strategies, which would be energy balance. A healthy lifestyle requires balancing the energy you consume from food with the energy you expend through physical activity. So that's what I was not doing. I was eating anything and everything like I was, yet I exercise. I was not aware of what I was putting into my body. Exercise dictates food choices, and people who exercise tend to make more nutritious choices. Good nutrition may also support muscle recovery, and I'm telling you this for a fact. Because I exercise, still to this day, it keeps me on track, in line with good food choices. For real. It goes hand in hand, and it just happened organically. I didn't have to force that. Once I ate better, I was like, man, I felt better. I could exercise more and longer and harder and easier. Okay, it snowballed. Increase confidence. Exercise can boost your mood and self-esteem, and you may find yourself wanting healthier foods to help replenish and re-energize after a workout. Way earlier in this podcast, I used the term crowd out. That's what I did. I did not go back to that list of Oreos and Reese's and cakes and cookies and all that crap I was eating. I didn't go back there. Okay, I crowded it out. And the weight that I lost, I can't even explain to you the amount of confidence and the boost that I got from that weight loss. Incredible. Incredible. Life-changing. And that's not an exaggeration. Energy boost. Exercise can wake you up and give you a surge of energy to help you through the rest of your day. People who experience this tend to choose foods that keep the energy levels high, like you have peanut butter, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, bananas, almonds, quinoa, dates, nuts and seeds, leafy greens, cottage cheese, apples, berries, lentils, citrus, eggs, and water. People say to me, I'm too tired of exercising at the end of my day. And I will say, well, this is what it does for me. It gives me energy. Sometimes, even to this day, I'll work 10, 12 hours and everything I do is physical. All day long, I am moving. And then I come home and I exercise for an hour and I feel the best. Sometimes when I walk into my exercise studio to teach my class, yes, my feet are dragging, but I do it anyway, and I am ever so grateful for it because I look forward to it. I know how good I'm going to feel during and after. Okay? So exercise gives you energy. It wakes you up. It gets that blood flowing and pumping. Gets the heart pumping, the muscles moving. Everything is working, the brain. Everything is awake and ready to tackle the rest of your day. Nutrient cravings. Your body may crave nutrients it's lacking after exercising, which will probably prompt you to make healthier food choices. Okay, so if you're going to eat garbage all the time, like I was at the beginning, and I was exercising, I had such a hard time. And then I learned how to not have a hard time. Why would I go back to having a hard time? Right? It's to me, it's just common sense. Okay, so what your body craves should give you an indication of where you are in your life and what you need to change. And if you're not sure about any of this, I am right here for you. Incorporating exercise into your routine can be a simple yet effective way to improve your diet and make healthier food choices. That's that balance, that crucial balance, movement and nutrition. It'll happen organically. The more you exercise, the better, stronger you're going to feel, that you're going to want to have better foods to help you feel better and strong. Like I said, that snowball effect, it's just going to keep rolling. Let's look at the holistic perspective. A holistic approach considers the whole person or the system rather than the individual parts. It emphasizes the interconnectedness of various aspects of life, such as physical, emotional, social, environmental, and spiritual well-being, and how they contribute to overall health and wellness as a whole system. It's important to understand the complete context is essential for effective support and improvement. So this is everything in your life as a whole. Okay? Like I said earlier, when I went through my transformation, everybody knew exercise was first. That helped my well-being. That helped me in every aspect of my life. Conventional approaches focus primarily on physical symptoms of a disease. A holistic approach promotes the idea that healing requires balancing everything in your life. And that's what I do as a health coach, balance everything in your life. It gives you the power to actively have control of your health and well-being and to have the ability to adapt to challenging experiences in all aspects of your life. Excuse me. Just take a quick water break. So you have the power to control your life, your choices, what's happening to you. Okay, give yourself that power. Be your own advocate. You have the ability to go through life how you want to go through life, making those changes, accepting the challenges, adapting to them in every aspect of your life. You have control, okay? It's you. Key points to a holistic perspective include education on the system as a whole, which would be you and every aspect of your life. Self-help for sustainability and lasting habits, which means learning how to maintain and continue your successful changes. And advocacy, which means standing up for what you believe in. And a lifestyle and behavioral changes in nutrition, movement, sleep, stress management, and relationship support. That's me in a nutshell as a health coach. And we also want to learn long-term sustainability, lasting habits, right? Lasting habits for anything that you have going on in life, that you have successfully changed, that you've wanted to successfully change. Long-term sustainability. So making a plan and not thinking long-term, you're going to stumble and fumble a bit, right? So when we get to where we're going to make these changes in our life, we're going to set a game plan for food and movement. We want to look at it long term to make sure it is sustainable, lasting habits. And they can be created by combining healthy eating with regular physical activity. So both of them become a habit. They become something that's mindless, that just happens because that's what you become. That's who you are. Self-care mode all the time. The flip side is temporary and frustrating crash dieting and exercise fats, which is what I told you earlier about Nutrisystem, crash dieting, right? And I've tried other diets and they have all crashed and burned. Okay? So it wasn't until 2008 I learned how to be and what to do. And I still continue that practice today. Wellness and sustainability are no longer seen as separate goals. Okay, if we keep that in mind, your wellness and sustainability, not separate. We got to put them together. They intersect in powerful ways to improve our health. Sustainable wellness is about finding harmony and self-care and promoting practices that nurture you. Sustainable wellness involves adopting habits and practices that support long-term well-being by making mindful choices in areas such as fitness, nutrition, mental health, and lifestyle. Okay, these are all important things. Keeping those two balanced, nutrition and movement, is crucial. It's key. Consistency is key. Sustainability, long-term, lifestyle. These are all big, powerful words, okay? But the best part is you have the power to do this. I can help you. I can guide you along, but you have the power to do all these things if that's what you want for yourself. And I thank you for being here today and listening to lesson number 4. I really do appreciate that. Coming up will be lesson number 5, and that is sugar and how it's going to be tied to gluten. So sugar, gluten kind of go hand in hand. If you have any questions and you want to reach me, I'll give you my email address right now. I'll spell it out. IND, the number 4, LIFELLC@gmail.com. So that's I for ice cream, N for Nancy, D for dog, the number 4, L for Larry, I for ice cream, F for Frank, E for Every, L for Larry, C for cat, @gmail.com. I'm here for you. Any questions, I'd be happy to go back and forth with you about that. But look for more of my upcoming podcasts. I got a lot to say. There's a lot of topics, guys. And if you have any requests for any topic for the future, you can also email me and I will help you there. And thank you for listening and being a part of my podcast. I appreciate it very much. Nancy Brunicardi, Independence for Life.